All right, folks, looks like they got started a little early here. This is Final Four for the King of the Valley, second annual King of the Valley. This is race to 5 on the B side. Looks like Nick Lopez won the lag, and PANCHO just won the first game with an early 10. We're in the Final Four. Yesterday, there was 24 players to start the tournament. It finished with PANCHO and Nick on the B side coming back to play today. Um, the winner plays Todd Irving, who's sitting in the third place spot. Todd lost the hot seat match to Sunny Red Thunder. So Sunny Red Thunder is currently sitting in the hot seat. So the winner of this will play Todd. The winner of that will go to the finals to play Sunny. And this is a true double dip format. So whoever plays Sunny in the finals will have to beat him twice. First set will be a race to 7. The second set will be a race to 5 if it gets to that. So we're 1-0. PANCHO breaking. Looks like he's coming up a little dry. He was crushing the brakes yesterday, but as temperature and humidity changes and from table to table, the brake can change a little bit. And in 10 ball, the brake's super finicky. So if you don't get your brake down, it can cause some frustration and havoc, that's for sure. We'll see what Nick tries to do here. Nick shot the 1, tried to use the 10 to hold the cue ball on a straight line to draw back to get short side to the 2 over here, but it came off on a path to scratch in the side. So PANCHO's got ball in hand here. Early 10s do count, and 3 foul is in effect. So if PANCHO doesn't see a clear path here to get out, he does have the option to play another safety and get Nick on 2. Making the 2 is not tough. Getting shaped to the 3 is not tough, but transition from the 3 to the 4 is tough. He almost would have to get like in this spot exactly to be able to make the 3 up here. He gets a cue ball to travel down through this path, which is tough. But we'll see what he comes up with here. Yeah, I mean, he might have been going to just try to get straight in to try to be able to play this down here and then get the cue ball to follow down off this rail and down like this. Oh, he got dead straight. It was a good shot. The table wasn't too clustered up to force him to go for a three foul. So if you see an opportunity to get out, that's typically going to be the best route to go. Yeah, PANCHO made a great shot there. Instead of trying to hold or force shape around for the 5, he decided to run into the 5. A little bit funky here. I wouldn't be surprised if he does like a little stun draw and draw the cue ball out to this spot. It's hard to tell if he can get past it to come off like this. I'm just going to run into it. I didn't like that. When you're running into balls like that, you can never be 100% exact on where that object ball is going. So he's going to be forced with a tough shot here, but I don't think he'll have a problem pocketing it, honestly. I think depends on the shape is what he's trying to figure out, whether he wants the cue ball to come off down here, but he's cutting it thin, so he might want the cue ball to come all the way down and come off like this to play the 7 in the side. When you're cutting it thin, you don't want to try to just hit it soft and hold shape into areas like this. Makes the ball missable. Oh, he's going to back cut the other way. He's going to be hitting it really thin going this route. Oh, good little kill shot. Nice little bump on the 7. If you'd got past the 7, I think the 7 went up here anyways, and that's probably what he was playing shape for. But he clipped the 7, and it's going to work out for him. Yeah, he tried to stun over, just came up a little short. Once again, it's not too difficult though, so he could get out here. I'm assuming he'll do like a little pinch draw and come out like this, shoot the 9 in the side. Just like that. PANCHO gets a 2-0 lead here off Nick, off that unfortunate scratch in the side. But it will be Nick's break, so Nick's going to have an opportunity to try to take control of this table. Nick just wants to make sure he makes a ball on the break and can see his opening shot. He wants to try to maintain control. It's never in your favor if you're having to push or if you're dry breaking, giving the table control over to your opponent. Nick absolutely crushes this break. What a great break that was. Got an opening shot on the 1. Most likely, I think the easiest path is going to be to do a little stun draw, take the 1 here, and get the cue ball to come off over into this direction instead of trying to hold shape or instead of trying to come off the side rail and bringing the side pocket into play. Got a big open pocket there for the 2. I might have got a little on the wrong side of this. You might have to force draw to come to the side rail and come back out this way, or he can even just draw off over here and play the 5-7 combo. Prefer not to play the combos unless you have to. Playing the combo, the 5 could always roll up on the end rail if you hit it funny and leave yourself in a funny spot. He might even have a pathway to come 2 rails this way. No, he force drew off the side. This is a smart shot. I think Nick's going to get out here. Nick's a strong player. Got a pretty open table here, and I don't see a whole lot of problems. Yeah, everything else is pretty natural here. Aside from just the unforced error of missing a ball or something like that, I don't think there's any chance Nick's not going to get out here. It's going to be 2-1, and it'll be PANCHO's break. All right. Looks like we're going to be 2-1. Nick's going to be racking for PANCHO. Figure this would be a good match. Both these guys play super strong. 2 of the best players in the Valley. PANCHO is the defending champion. He ended up winning it outright last year undefeated. This year he did run into a little adversity. He ended up having a match against Sonny where he didn't play the best, and Sonny played super strong, and he ended up beating PANCHO 7-1, 7-2, something like that, and then Sonny went on to win the hot seat. PANCHO's break. Let's see what he can get here. Oh, wow. PANCHO dry broke again. Easy shot on the 1, easy shot on the 2, but that 4 looks like it's in a funny spot. I'm not sure the 4 will actually pass off the 9 to pocket here. If it does, then Nick has an opportunity here, but I'm not sure it does. He may have to figure something out to reposition that 4 or play safe off the 4. He could always find an angle to play something like this and run into this set of balls. But that's always scary, not knowing how that's going to pan out. See what he does here. He did play short side of the 4, so that 4 must pass. But he got on the wrong side of it, so shape to the 5 is going to be difficult now. Yeah, he's looking like he's going to try to just drift in and stay in a window here so that he can still cut the 5 to this corner. That's a lot to ask. Try to punch and hold into that window and pocket the 4. But, he left himself a shot here. He has an option of cutting it or banking it. Sometimes that's all you need to do is just give yourself a chance. Hit a little thick. Ended up missing the ball. Got a fairly good roll out of it though. Ended up hooking PANCHO. PANCHO jumps pretty good, but this is going to be it's a little bit of an awkward spot to be able to reach it and get level up for it. And it is fairly close to the 9, but like I said, PANCHO jumps pretty good, and the 6 looks like it clears to the side, so he doesn't have to worry about shape or anything. He just got to pocket this ball. And he fouls. But looks like he might have got pretty fortunate. Not sure you can pocket the 5 from there. Nick might be smart to just put the cue ball in a spot like this and thin the 5 and send the cue ball up table like this. He's going to go aggressive, offensive, try to bank this ball in. Did a soft bank. Yeah, I didn't like that. It's tough because he's got to try to soft bank it and hold shape for the 6. I'd rather have seen a safe there. But, I'm a super aggressive player, as is Nick. He likes to stay as offensive as possible. And it's not necessarily always a bad thing. You don't ever want to let your opponent at the table if you don't have to. And, both these guys are guys you don't want to let to the table. So can't fault him for that. But PANCHO's got a fairly decent opportunity to take a 3-1 lead here. Got a pretty easy shot, but it's not a gimme. He's got to focus and make this 6 ball, and he didn't. He's giving Nick an opportunity to tie this up 2-2 with the break, and this is another one of those spots where I don't really see Nick not getting out here. So PANCHO started this tournament off playing Terry Bain, which he ended up winning that match. And then he played Jerry Payne, won that. He played Devin. I'm going to butcher his name, but Petey? That makes more sense to me. I'm going to go with that. And then he ended up playing Sonny Red Thunder. And that's the match he lost, which put him to the B side. On the B side, he ended up only having to play one match, and it was against me. So he ended up beating me last night. Um, I finished in the 5th, 6th spot, which put Pancho here into this 4th place match against Nick. And like I said, Pancho's the defending champion, so he came in trying to repeat, and he's got some work to do that. And a couple players he's got to work through to be able to claim that. And Nick gets out, overcut that 10 a little bit. He looked a little worried that it might catch the nipple and hang up, but he didn't. Good in. 2-2. Nick has the break. Nick started this tournament with the first round bye. Ended up playing Scott Zurich. He won that match, and then he lost the next match to Sunny Red Thunder. So that sounds like a common theme right now, as Sunny ended up putting both of these guys to the B side. So both these guys are looking for a little bit of revenge if they can get back to the finals and try to right that wrong of losing to Sunny. Sunny plays good, plays strong. He's definitely one of the players to beat in this tournament. So, but that brought Nick to the B side. He ended up playing Terry Anderson, beat Terry. Ended up playing Rodney Barney. That was a really tight match. Matter of fact, I think Rodney was on the hill first and then had a chance to win there at the end. Just came up a little short. Nick squeaked that one out hill. And then he played Paul Granillo, who had a great tournament. Paul ended up playing the match before the hot seat match against Todd, lost that in a close battle. Paul had a lot of really good matches, played super strong in this tournament. It was really good to see. I know he took some time off of pool, but he's been back and playing, and it shows. He played super strong in this tournament. And that brings us down to these guys. Nick starting with a rollout. He's pushing, giving Pancho the option, leaving him in a spot to. He's basically saying, "Here, you figure it out." He's challenging Pancho to try to place a safety. And Pancho's going to give it back because there's not really any good spot to play safe. I mean, you can clip the one and play the cue ball back up table this direction. The one's going to go over here and then down to this. That's where I would try to do, but that's asking a lot. Yeah, he tried that. He just hit a little thin, ended up catching that side pocket. It's unfortunate. Nick had the right idea. I mean, he was making balls on the breakers and everything. He left himself in a really bad spot. And anytime you have to push, gives your opponent the advantage, because if it's in a spot where he can make a good safety or a good shot, he's going to take it. If it's in a spot where he can't, he's going to give it back. So Nick, sometimes, you just get that unfortunate roll off the break where you just don't have a whole lot of options. So Pancho's got a chance here to go up 3-2. I think this is probably the hardest shot of the rack. Transition from the 3 to 4. He's got to make a good sound decision on what he wants to do, whether he wants to try to come back to the center of the table or whether he wants to try to go around the other way and play the 4 backup table, which is what he chose. At this point here, it's just a matter of pocketing this 4 ball. It's hard to tell the angle he has to this. It almost looks like he might bring the cue ball down in this area, which is fine. He just got to pocket this ball. Make sure he doesn't get clipped behind the 8. Yeah, played with some speed. So Pancho should be out here. This is another one of those spots where everything else is kind of laying out. It's just a matter of not making that unforced error, which sometimes is easier said than done. Just like this. I think he got pretty fortunate there. I don't know if he caught that 6 a little thin or what happened there, but he definitely didn't hit it how he wanted because he didn't want to be where he's at now. But he got fortunate. He can see the 7. If he would have given him just a little bit further, he would have been in a really bad spot. Making this rack tougher than it needed to be, that's for sure. Got to punch this. It's hard to tell what Pancho's going to do. I mean, he can punch this and come off the side, come back over, or he likes to use inside draw a lot. He can come 3 rails around. Whoops. come 3 rows around. So yeah, he kept the simple route. Anytime you can pocket a ball and keep it simple and still maintain shape, that's what you want to do. When you're forcing the ball around the table, when you can make those errors, miss a ball that you shouldn't miss. Oh man, he made a great shot there. Come up a little short. That one bad shot on the 6 where he just clipped it a little thin or whatever he did a little funky there kind of made this rack tough. Um, I mean, he's a great ball pocketer too, so he still made it work, but it definitely was tougher than it needed to be. And it's funny how one little mistake earlier on in the rack can just make it a bear to get out. But he takes a 3-2 lead, and the break, um, which hasn't proven to be of significance so far for either player in this match. Neither one of them have had a clear break and run opportunity. Nick might have earlier. I remember he had a really good out. He might have had a break and run there. I can't remember. Other than that, though, Poncho's been struggling with the break. He struggled to get with the break against me last night. He was breaking really good yesterday, and then he struggled against me. And then so far in this match, he struggled with his first couple breaks. So let's see if he can pocket a ball this time. Oh, he took a lot of time to try to make sure he was hitting that good and be able to get a good snap off this break to pocket balls, and he did. But unfortunately, that cue ball got kicked in and giving Nick ball in hand here. The only major issue that's going to be is the transition from the 1 to the 2. Well, I guess from the 2 to the 3, yeah, this is not as easy as it looks, actually. Everything's open, but your transition from ball to ball isn't the easiest. From 1 to 2, 2 to the 3, 3 to the 4. He's got some work to do. Overhit this ball a little, I think. No, that's pretty good. You should be able to cut this in and bring the cue ball like this. And then he might have to play the 4-6 depending on how he gets to this 3 ball. Yeah, just like that. Hit a little hard, a little closer than he'd want to be, typically. Yeah, he's going to stop and think about this because he can't go forward. He's going to clip the 9, which is going to put him on a weird path. He may have to try to put a super draw on this and try to get the cue ball to draw off this direction. Or if he does like some low right, he can get it to draw off this direction. I think any of those ways are going to be tough. He might just roll this in and take the long combo. No, he tried to come back and forth. Man, it's a tough spot. I think the combo is probably easier than the bank at this point. I can't tell how much that 10's in the way. I don't think the 10's in the way of the bank, though. Yeah, he might be able to bank this ball in. It's hard to tell. He's definitely in a tough spot. That's what I was saying, starting this rack. Just because everything was open, no balls were necessarily touching or in super bad spots. It was still tough because the transition from ball to ball to ball wasn't easy. Yeah, he went for the combo, missed it, giving Poncho an opportunity here to try to steal this rack and go up 4-2. Poncho a combo, but it doesn't look like it's straight, so the 4 is probably going to come off this direction. So he's going to want to hit this and control the 4, and he wants to make sure that the 4 doesn't end up on this side rail. Oh, he hit it with speed. Yeah, I didn't like that. I think I'd rather hit it a little softer and just laid up the cue ball here and let the 4 ball come off in this direction somewhere. But what do I know? I'm sitting from the sidelines while these guys are playing, so just got to make one good shot here. The 8, 9, and 10 are in pretty easy spots. Yeah, he just smooths that ball in. The Pancho's probably going to take a 4-2 lead here. That's going to be a tough hill to climb at that point once he gets on the hill, because Nick will need 3, and it's alternate break format. So even if you do get in stroke and get the breakdown, it's going to be tough because you can't just necessarily plant your opponent in their seat and finish the set. Got a little funny here. He's got to put a good stroke on this, and he does. They take a 4-2 lead. Like I said, the winner of this will be playing Todd Irving in the 3rd place match. Nice out, Pancho. This match is far from over, though, just because he's on the hill. Nick's a strong player, so anything can flip this around. But like we've seen, the brakes aren't necessarily working the best for these guys. So having the brake hasn't shown to be as powerful as it typically is in a match like this. Nick crushed the brake here. Has a shot on the 1. 2 looks like it's in a funny spot. He might just be better off to play a safety here. Yeah, that's what he chooses to do. Smart shot. The 2's in a funny spot. I mean, you have to pretty much get over here to be able to pocket that 2. So I'm assuming Pancho will probably try to make the 1 jumping. The cue ball is going to come off on a natural path this direction. And then most likely, if he pockets this 1, he'll be playing safe off the 2. A few safe opportunities as long as he can see the 2. Yeah, didn't pocket the 1. Nick's going to be in that same spot. He can make the 1, but he might be able to get dead straight on the 2, like get on this rail, or I should say on the rail over here somewhere. Just kill this cue ball and be straight in on the 2. But I don't know if I'd be looking for that. That's extremely tough, and you got to be pretty straight. I think I'd be more focused on leaving myself some kind of angle out here so that I could bank the 2 out of here and leave the cue ball in this spot as a safety. That would open the rack up pretty good. Yeah, just like that. I mean, you can try to draw the cue ball into this spot and have the 2 bank out like this, depending on the speed. Yeah, just like that. No, he doesn't want that ball to go. Yeah, great shot. It's definitely the route to go. Left Pancho in a bad spot because kicking angles and everything here aren't the best. He might just need to try to jump this. Yeah, I think he's going to go for a jump. Try to pocket the ball. He's just hoping that if he doesn't make this ball, something good happens and he gets a decent roll out of it or decent leave. But you just got to focus on, he's got to make contact with this, or no, he does. Makes a good shot. Didn't make the ball though, and he left it in a terrible spot for Nick. It's hard to tell from here if he can cut this in to this pocket without scratching. It looks like he can. It'll just, the cue ball hit the nipple and stun out probably. Yeah, stunned off that way. That was a tough shot. Probably a little bit of frustration for Nick building in. He hasn't had a whole lot of tables that have just been like connect the dot outs. The one or two that he has, he's gotten out. Everything else has just kind of been stuff he's got to force, and it's hard to get in stroke and hard to make good shots when you're never able to just go. Pancho's going to cut this in. I think he's going to have to run into these balls down here. I don't know if he can come through a path and not clip a ball. Yeah. Oh, that turned out pretty perfect for him. I think he was good, even if he missed the 9 and hit the 3. I think he'd be good, but that was probably best case scenario there, is to run into that. Yeah, and he doesn't need to hit the 4 or the 8 here. He can just stun his cue ball over to here, and that gives him a path to play the 5 in this direction. Now he chose to run into the 8, moved it into a good spot. Probably not a bad idea. I hate running into balls unless I have to, because it's harder to control where everything goes, but I have a feeling Pancho's going to get out here and this match is going to be over. And it's kind of sometimes how the tables lay and how things come out. Nick played good, but just didn't have a ton of really good opportunities. And to Pancho's credit, Pancho kind of was in similar spots, but he ended up making do in some funny spots and gave himself a chance to get this opportunity to win the match. Yeah, that was the shot. Nick just going to give it to him. Pancho wasn't missing that. So stick around, guys. There's going to be another match. Pancho will be playing Todd Irving for the 3rd place match. There'll be another race to 5, same format. And the winner of that has the opportunity to move on and play Sunny Red Thunder in the finals. Not sure when that next match is going to start.